So I decided to read The Darkness Outside of Us, and this has been a very interesting journey to go on. I finished the audiobook first, and then I decided to read the book itself. And in this book, made me question a lot of things that it was telling me. To start off with, that this book has some very interesting premises that is going on. It's about this guy named Ambrose, and he kind of has like an amnesia kind of thing going on, and he doesn't remember why he's on the ship. It's also a sci-fi romance. Then he tries to figure out what happened and why he's on the ship and such, and then we meet the love interest. The love interest's name is Kodiak, and these two kind of like make a cute relationship as they have to fix the ship in order to continue with the mission. To start off with, the book does make a lot of sense at the start. Like, there's a lot of Amnesia, and Ambrose talks about like what is happening around him, what he's personally thinking and doing about stuff. But this led me down a path full of so many questions that I cannot even think of being able to answer so quickly, because it doesn't make sense. What I mean by this is that throughout the book, we meet Kodiak and Ambrose, and they both are trying to fix the ship. Now, to put it simply, the book does not tell you who's fixing the ship, but we can tell you for a fact that Ambrose is not doing anything. He barely does anything on page, and anything that he does do, it's more like he's questioning everything he sees. And that's not a bad thing for a person who can't really remember what's happened, but it doesn't make sense and why he's not really doing anything. He's kind of just there. Whereas Kodiak is doing all the work, and I'm just sitting there like, poor Kodiak. Anyways, as you read on through the book, you learn more things about these two characters. I do like the chemistry that these two have for each other. I think it's so wholesome and cute. However, this review is also spoilers, so I will make a big warning right now. Spoilers. If you don't want to hear the spoil of this book, you might want to have to click off this video. So Kodiak does a lot of the work around the ship, and Ambrose doesn't really do much, other than he just looks around and just tries to figure out what on earth is going on. The chemistry between these two characters are great. I like it. But there is something else that comes across my mind when I listen to this as well as reading it. It's giving me Beauty and the Beast, where you have Bella and you have the Beast himself. That kind of vibe where Bella is stuck in the castle and of course has to answer to the Beast and have this whole charade going on. So pretty much like that. It's very Stockholm Syndrome, like it's very like contained. And that's what this book has, and it irritates me so much. Because I'm like, okay, so we have no other people we are interacting with. By the way, the machine lies for some reason, other than that it's trying to make it look like they have a goal, but it doesn't really tell you why the system is lying. It sort of tells you at the end, but it doesn't make sense. So for some reason, the machine is lying to Kodiak and Ambrose. I want to say like a good 2/3 of the book, the machine just lies so much. We do eventually find out why it was lying, but it still doesn't make sense, because it was saying that Ambrose and Kodiak's job is to make sure the ship gets to this one specific area so they can rebuild civilization. Which still doesn't make sense, because why would you not tell them that? Because apparently Earth was destroyed or something like thereof. It does not truly tell you in enough details. It does give you the impression that, oh yeah, something happened at Earth. Such a vague way. And it doesn't even help with the rest of the story, and it's just useless. So when I found out that Kodiak and Ambrose are 17-year-old clones, What? So by the end, they found out that there's actually a plethora of clones left. They decided to crash into this one other planet that is nearby, and they rebuild civilization, which, by the way, the machine tells them why they're doing it, and they end up rebuilding civilization from there. And I'm just thinking to myself, what was the point of this book? Like, I like the romance, but it's kind of like the rebuilding civilization in the sense of a different style of family where it's not always going to be about man and woman relationships. Throughout the entire book, it's Kodiak and Ambrose trying to figure out what on earth is going on, what happened, why they're on the ship. And the book slowly does unfold and tell you, but it's not enough information to make you go, oh, that's why. It gives you a vague description, and that's what irritates me a lot. And I have to say, this book is decent. I actually did enjoy certain aspects of this book, and I gotta have to give it a 5 out of 10. It's decent. It's actually got a really good concept that I did enjoy throughout the book, besides the many plot holes, such as who's fixing the ship, besides Kodiak and the machine, because apparently the machine is, but the book does not tell you directly on page. So besides that, the clones and all this is giving me Matrix and that very much ripped off memes that I've seen in almost every show where there was like this alien creature or robot ripping their face off, showing that they're just a duplicate or a copy and they're leading a person to their depths. It's that kind of vibe that I was getting from this book. And I'm not a fan of it, and I can tell this was a very hard book to get through, and I found it myself as a reader and listening to it too very difficult at times. This book took me a month to get through, and it was a nightmare. In Acknowledgement, the author talks about how he got feedback from people from this book. And I'm surprised that no one gave him the feedback of this book's logic does not make sense. Why is one of the characters doing all the work and the other one's just looking around? Like, I don't understand. And not only that, the machine is kind of just there. So I found a section in the acknowledgement that this author has somehow explained that this book is hard, and it makes sense. It shows. It goes, when I proposed this weirdo, hard to edit book, you never blink once. Instead of you just leaning forward and go on. You're such a source of wisdom and support. I don't think that is the case. I think that this book is very hard to edit because no one has given him an honest opinion and thoughts on the book, because it's like you didn't say to Eliot that this book has so many plot holes. More bigger plot holes than any other storyline I ever came across. And I've read worse. It happens to hit the lower ones, and I have read a book recently, and I am planning to review it very soon, and it has 10 times more worse plot holes than this, and it's 10 times worse. This just makes it decent in comparison. So I would not recommend this book. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!